What's happening, everybody? Monday, June 9th, 2025. My name is Kevin Smith. Thank you all so much for tuning in to Loud Majority Live. We got a jam-packed show for you guys today. LA is on fire. But, of course, we did not start the fire. Gavin Newsom and Karen Bass did. They did it by not stopping it from beginning. We've got some comments by the gaggle of your regulars. I promise you guys, you're going to see a lot of familiar faces here today. Karen Bass, Gavin Newsom, and the rest of the idiots in the Democratic Party. Because, you know, Donald Trump has decided that we are just not going to stand for this crap anymore. We're not going to stand for it anymore. We are not going to let people just take over major American cities. And that's what we saw last night following an ICE raid in Los Angeles. Karen Bass, one of the stupidest people in America, and I don't say that because she's a Democrat. I say that because she's an idiot. One of the dumbest people in America has decided that, you know why the ICE raids were happening, guys? I'm sorry, do you know why the riots were happening? The riots were happening because of the ICE raids. But I'm here to let Karen Bass know that the reason why the ICE raids are happening is because you're harboring illegal immigrant criminals. But, of course, that was not enough for the idiots over on The View. We're going to make fun of a lot of people today. We're going to make fun of a lot of people, including the resident potato of CNN, Brian Stelter, who thinks his audience is populated by some of the stupidest people in America. We're going to have some fun today, guys, because last night things got weird. Things got real weird in Los Angeles, and I'm happy that they did not get as weird as they could have. Do me a favor, though, guys, and hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place, wherever it is you may be watching from. Let's pop this Rumble chat up on the screen. Guys, wherever you're watching at, make sure you subscribe over to rumble.com/LFATV. That's rumble.com/LFATV. Make an account. Hit the thumbs up button. That's how you help this channel grow left, right, and center. Oh, yeah, baby. Summer is here. Summer is here, and of course we know we don't see riots in the winter because it's a little chilly outside, and the people who ingest way too much soy can't handle the cold weather. A little tough on the skin. A little tough on the skin. What's happening, everybody? Jeanette, how are you? AC Knight, what is happening? As always, Carol, Tommy, Natalie, Caps, what is happening? Yes, there were some protests out here on Long Island. They were only able to muster about 100 people because they're useless. So naturally, Newsday ran that on the front cover. Naturally, they ran that on the front cover. Bobby, how are you? C. Ward, I'm here in Burning, California. Well, hopefully it doesn't make it all the way up to your neighborhood. Hopefully it doesn't make it all the way up to your neighborhood. Guys, before we get rocking, before we get rolling here today, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. That's loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. That is the best way to support this show and everything we've got going on over here. We're going to pump this bad boy up on the screen. Ba-boom. There we go. All the good stuff. You guys can check that out. For any of my millennials out there, you'll know this logo. Of course, it looks eerily similar to DARE, the organization that we all listened to when we were in elementary school. Yeah, right. Okay, sure. Absolutely. Guys, head on over to loudmajorityusa.com. Sign up for the newsletter. Check out our shop. That is the best way to support this network and everything we've got going on over here. Use promo code RUMBLE to get 20% off everything on the website. So, look, I'm sure you guys have seen the clips throughout the day. I'm sure you guys have seen the clips all day long, and if you were watching the news last night, I'm sure you were able to pick up on the fact that something may be amiss in the City of Angels. Well, it turns out there were massive ICE raids last night or yesterday, over the weekend, in Los Angeles. And because of that, naturally, the awfuls came out in full force. What are the awfuls? That would be the affluent white female urban liberal. They came out and they were very, very upset. Very, very upset. They were befuddled. Karen Bass, however, came out and said that LAPD had it handled, that they didn't need any help from the federal government. Now, of course, when Karen Bass says she doesn't need any help, that is a sign that she definitely needs help. Remember when she didn't need any help during the wildfires? Here was resting Joker face, Karen Bass.
Try to spread them out a bit. Now, obviously, they're trying to disperse them. I'm curious if now that the National Guard troops are there on the ground, if there is any urgency on the police department's part to really put out an even stronger force and a stronger posture to get this under control, so you can, and I know your governor has said that they don't want, that he's formally requested that the National Guard troops go back, that they're not needed. Were those things correlated?
Well, I absolutely agree with the governor in asking that the troops be withdrawn. I don't think that is the way to bring peace in Los Angeles. I think that our law enforcement officers can handle this situation, but I just have to repeat again, it's a feeling here of intentional chaos in a situation that had not broken out to violence, short of a few people, and there's nothing unusual about that, and our police departments can manage that, but it is as though troops were rolled out in a provocative manner, and I do not see how that is helpful to Los Angeles right now. It's not the type of resources that we need in the city.
And of course, that was the going topic from Karen Bass to Gavin Newsom, leaders in the Democratic Party, podcasters. Everybody said it seems like he's doing this on purpose. It seems like Donald Trump is going out of his way to do this. He wants to sow chaos. No, Karen Bass. He doesn't want to sow chaos. He is but responding to your asinine behaviors. And what asinine behavior was that? Well, harboring illegal immigrant criminals, for example. Tom Homan said he was coming. You guys didn't want him there. Too damn bad. Too damn bad. But that was not the end of Karen Bass. Karen Bass had an interesting take. She said that these riots would not have taken place if there hadn't been the ICE raids. To which I say, if there weren't illegal immigrants, there would be no ICE raids.
I just have to say that if you dial back time and go to Friday, if immigration raids had not happened here, we would not have the disorder that went on last night. I will tell you that it is peaceful now, but we do not know where and when the next raids will be. That is the concern, because people in the city have a rapid response network. If they see ICE, they go out and they protest. And so it's just a recipe for pandemonium that is completely unnecessary. Nothing was happening here. Los Angeles was peaceful before Friday.
First off, Los Angeles hasn't been peaceful since 1992. Okay? Let's be clear. This happens all the time, but she was not the only one, of course. There was Gavin Newsom. There was Gavin Newsom out there with the snake oil in his hair. He went out there and he was he was on Twitter a lot last night. He was on X, fact-checking people. Gavin Newsom decided to go up to decided to comment on actor James Woods. We all know James Woods from Casino. He's in like a million other things. He's the doctor in John Q. We all know Jimmy Woods. Jimmy Woods posted a video, and he made a mistake. He did. He made a mistake, and he posted a video from 2020, to which Gavin Newsom responded, this video is not now. It is from 2020, to which I responded with, oh, you mean the last time you let a bunch of animals take over one of your cities? Although, look, I want to be clear, Donald Trump, he didn't have to send in the National Guard. He didn't. He should have just invited Xi Jinping to San Francisco, and Gavin Newsom would have gotten everything cleaned up and rolled out the red carpet for Winnie the Pooh. I say that because Xi Jinping hates being compared to Winnie the Pooh, so much so that he has actually had Winnie the Pooh banned in China, which is why I'm going to keep saying it, because I know it bothers him. Whatever. Gavin Newsom out there, oh, he's upset, saying, come and get me, Tom Homan. Come and get me, Tom Homan. As Donald Trump threatens to arrest Gavin Newsom for not allowing the police to do their job, rampant crime, rampant riots happening all over the place. Here was a little montage put together by the guys over at Timcast News of what happened last night. And I want to be clear, guys, if you are looking for your photograph for the 2026 midterms, here it is. Here it is. A shirtless man standing on top of a burned out car holding a Mexican flag in the city of Los Angeles. Now, many people have been trying to say that, this isn't happening. This isn't happening, despite the fact that we can all use our eyeballs. We can all use our eyeballs and see exactly all of what's happening. So much so that this company, what is it, Waymo or something, or whatever the automatic car company is, the automatic car company that drives you around with no driver, they have now suspended all services in the city of Los Angeles. Now, would that happen to be because here you have 5 cars lined up in the street, completely destroyed? I don't know what the driverless cars did to anybody, but you know what? That's what Democrats do. They go out and they destroy. That's what they do. They destroy. But guys, sure, you just saw people throwing M80s at horses, and you saw police cars on fire. You saw all that just now. But Dana Bash on CNN, you didn't see what you just saw. Before we get to that, Mike Lindell.
I'm excited to announce that we're having our first ever mega sale on overstock clearance and brand new products. For example, save over 50% on this season's flannel sheets. Queen size only $59.98. Kings only $69.98. They sell out fast every year, so order now. Save 20% on our brand new My Crosses. They're designed in the likeness of the one I've worn every day for over 20 years. They come in men's and women's, and they're made right here in the USA. Get our 2025 6-piece My Towel sets for only $29.98. Our initial quantities are extremely low, so get them now before they go. And our best-selling standard My Pillows, just $14.98. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use this promo code to take advantage of our first ever mega sale. But wait, remember that $75 free shipping rule? Well, that ship is sailed, because right now, every order ships absolutely free.
Guys, head on over to MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD, for up to 80% off everything on the website. That's MyPillow.com, promo code LOUD. Giddy up, let's go. We're having a good time here, making fun of stupid people, which is what we do on this show. So let's talk about some stupid people. And let's start with Dana Bash. Over on CNN, we all know Dana Bash. Of course, she's the wife of one of the 51 intel officers that completely fabricated the whole Russian narrative, and the whole Hunter Biden laptop thing is not real. Dana Bash says that despite what you just saw, guys, it's not a real riot. It's like a make-believe riot. It's like, even though we're watching this happen, it's not really real.
It's pretty bad. that's a different question. But I just want to just state for the record that what did happen in 1992 was so different from what we're seeing now. I mean, that was a real riot that went all across the city of Los Angeles after a verdict in the Rodney King case. This is a situation where the LA County Police,
Dana,
it's not good, but they're saying that they have it under control, and the president is sending national troops,
Dana,
federal
you and I
troops,
can
in a
look
way
at this.
that
We can look at
hasn't
this
been
and
done
we
in
can
a long
obviously
time.
see that it is not under control. It's not under control. You and I both can see that. It's not under control. And a riot is a riot. They're throwing all types of objects at law enforcement, and the president is absolutely right.
Just journalisming all over themselves. They got so much journalism on them, they can't even stand it. It's not a real riot, guys. Don't you know? It's like a pretend riot. It's a pretend riot. Now, things got a little awkward. A couple hours later, when Dana Bash, I don't know why it's Dana and not Dana, not really the point. When CNN itself had to say, well, actually, this is getting a little out of hand.
Out to CNN's Kyung Law, who has been standing by all day. Kyung, a lot has happened since we've been talking to you. Where are you now? What is the status where you are?
Well, there are multiple protests now, or at least we should call them incursions, between the people who've been demonstrating here, people who've joined in, and law enforcement. We are near where all of this began, and what you're seeing here is a line of a mix of, though predominantly federal agents, Department of Homeland Security, Customs and Border Patrol, as well as the National Guard that brought out some of these protesters. But you can see they've created quite some space between them and then these protesters. That violence that you were referring to, Jess, you can see that there's a car burning in the background. And while they've made a semicircle here on the street, you can see that the Waymo over there has been vandalized. And we understand that some cars over there may also be Waymos that have been set on fire. So this is a part of the night that law enforcement really worries about, because when I look at some of these protesters, they are not resembling the people who were here when all of this began earlier this morning in Los Angeles. This crowd is different. And so now you have a problem for law enforcement trying to contain these people, whoever they may be, some of them who may have some legitimate concerns, but then also other people who are mixed in. So that is where we are in the evening right now. But again, we are very close to where this all began, and these federal agents now are just standing here with some space between them and these protesters.
And again, thank you, Kyung. We're looking live at some of these Waymos that are on fire at the moment. And as Kyung noted, this has taken a turn since she's been out there over the last several hours, when she saw a different type of protester that was there in a more peaceful way. A lot of people, things have turned far more destructive and violent. I do want to bring in CNN Chief Law.
Well, yeah, because it turns out when you don't stop these things before they start, when you don't nip them in the butt, and look, you want to go out and protest, go do it. I love it. I love protesting. I do it all the time. I've organized them before. However, when the police tell you to disperse, or the police tell you to stop doing a certain thing, you have to stop doing that thing, or you're breaking the law. I don't know what about this is befuddling to some people, but elected Democrats around the country have come together. They have come together to stand in solidarity with the people of California. And I want to be clear about this. I've never in my entire life have I seen a what would you even call it? I don't even know what you would call this gag. I've never seen a stranger-looking group of people on planet Earth. Imagine being so radical. Imagine being so radical that even Governor Kathy Hochul comes out and goes, "No, we're good. I am not getting involved in this one." A coalition of Democratic governors have issued a joint statement on Sunday. A joint statement condemning President Trump's decision to deploy the California National Guard without Governor Newsom's consent, calling it an alarming abuse of power. Harumph, I say, that undermines both state authority and public trust. A statement co-signed by 22 Democratic governors, came amid escalating violence in downtown Los Angeles. Let's see. Perhaps is your governor on there? Was I wrong? Is Kathy Hochul on there? Let's see. We got Andy Beshear. We got Laura Kelly. We got Tony Evers. Bob Ferguson, Josh Green, Maura Healey, Katie Hobbs. There she is, Governor Eyebrows herself, Kathy Hochul. They're all there. The gang's all here, everybody. They're all out here to condemn Donald Trump keeping the streets safe. But, guys, what you don't understand is there was no reason to keep the streets safe. Because according to ABC Local in Los Angeles, look, it was just a few people having fun.
Large group of people. It could turn very volatile if you move law enforcement in there in the wrong way and turn what is just a bunch of people having fun watching cars burn into a massive confrontation and altercation between officers and demonstrators.
Look, guys, I love fun. I'm a fun guy. I aim for fun. Setting a bunch of cars on fire and throwing rocks at police officers, throwing M80s and mortars at horses, I don't know. Doesn't seem so fun to me. Or have we encountered fiery but mostly peaceful part 2? Have we encountered fiery but mostly peaceful part 2? I think we have. Everyone. Somehow they've outdone themselves. But that was not the part of this that some people found to be the most interesting. There's a man on television that, I got to be honest with you, I'm really happy he's back because I missed him. He provides shows like this one with unlimited amounts of content due to his aggressive stupidity and his potato-like shape. And that man is CNN's Brian Stelter, who was befuddled, who was, very interested in the fact that Donald Trump, you ready for this? You ready for this sort of presidential jujitsu that Donald Trump did? He went to the UFC fight and deployed the California National Guard because, according to Brian Stelter, you can't do both at the same time because you don't have a phone. Also, the part of this clip that I find to be so interesting is that Brian Stelter feels the need to explain to his audience what the UFC is. Now, I want to be clear. A lot of people tell me I'm young. I don't feel it, but people tell me I'm young. Let me ask you, chat. Let's put the live chat up here. We got 4,000 people watching. Is there anyone who hasn't heard of the UFC? Is there anyone out there that doesn't know what that is? Is this a new thing for you? Before we get to that, I want to see what the comments say here. Guys, head on over to lfatv.us. That's lfatv.us. That's your home base, your mothership, your landing pad for all things LFA TV related. Check out the LFA TV store. And while you guys are there, consider becoming a monthly donor over at lfatv.us. That's the best way to support this network, everything we're doing here. Everything we're doing here. Let's see. Has anyone here not heard of the... I'm not asking if you watch. I'm asking if you've heard the concept of the UFC, because Brian Stelter thinks you're so dumb that he has to explain to you, like a child, what the UFC is. This is a 4-minute clip, and it's worth every bit of it, because not only does Brian Stelter feel the need to explain to his audience the very concept of UFC, but he also decides he's going to compare and contrast the fact that Donald Trump is watching a violent sport to him sending in the National Guard, and how they're similar, and the parallels are uncanny. Here is the resident potato of CNN.
That's where the president is right now. He's cage side at a UFC fight. This is the popular mixed martial arts phenomenon. This is the second time he's been to a UFC fight since taking office again. He also attended one at Madison Square Garden last fall. So this is one of the president's...
Nothing about that is relevant to the story.
Favorite sports. It's a combat sport. It's, of course, all about fighting. It's incredibly violent, also incredibly popular. It gets a lot of money for his friend Dana White, who runs the UFC.
See, he's only there to give his friend Dana White money. He's not there, if you go to an NFL game, you're not there for the football. You're just there to get Roger Goodell money. If you go to a baseball game, you're only there to make Rob Manfred money. I think I'm going to commentate over this 4-minute clip and just make fun of this doughy... I almost said a bad word there.
And the parallelism here, the symbolism is so striking. The president was at his golf club in Bedminster earlier today, maybe watching pictures of the very scattered, very isolated episodes of unrest around Los Angeles. And then on the way to this UFC match, we learn about this order for the National Guard. So you have him attending a fight on the East Coast while potentially stoking a fight on the West Coast.
You hear that, guys? So there's a fight on the East Coast, an organized sporting event watched by millions of people. And then on the West Coast, you have a bunch of people waving Mexican flags, beating up federal agents, and it's basically the same thing, according to the once and former anchor on CNN.
Inciting what he calls riots and looters, even though from all that we've seen, from the visual evidence, what has happened has been very sporadic. It is notable how Trump has been very present about this on social media this evening, posting on Truth Social, posting on X.
You hear that, guys? Donald Trump, tonight, has been very present on social media in much the same way he has been for the last, 15 years.
Literally interspersing images of him walking out of the UFC fight with his messaging about California. And so that's going to give even more grist to critics who say he is trying to stoke conflict, trying to cause actual fighting on the West Coast, Brian.
So let's get this straight. Let's get this straight, Potato Boy. Because he showed a clip of him walking out of the tunnel at the UFC, that means that he wants to stoke violence 3,000 miles away. I can't imagine why your fat ass, and I'm allowed to say that because we are both members of Fatties United, I can't imagine why your fat ass got fired from CNN. That might have been the dumbest minute and a half of television I've seen in quite some time. But then Monday morning happened. And this morning happened. This happened about 2 hours ago. There was an assembly of the 5 dumbest women in New York. It's on ABC. And Sunny Hostin, who's supposed to be the smart one out there, she's very confused when she finds out that almost all Americans support deporting illegal immigrants. We'll get to that in 1 minute. Before we do that, Old Glory Bank.
When big banks decide who gets access to America's financial systems and who doesn't, who do you think gets left out? Middle Americans who proudly wave their pro-America values. Cancel culture in banking is corrosive. It limits your participation in a vibrant, free market economy. Fortunately, you can fight back. You now have the opportunity to invest in the bank that's investing in a fair American banking system, one based in freedom. Ownership in Old Glory Bank, the pro-America online bank, is here. Old Glory Bank is a full-service FDIC-insured bank that's the alternative to overreaching, un-American big banks. We stand for privacy, security, and liberty. We stand for freedom, family, faith, and the flag. We stand for all the values you stand for, and for the values big banks can't stand. So help keep banking in the hands of Main Street, not Wall Street. To invest in Old Glory Bank, go to oldglorybank.com.
Guys, you know what's difficult? Brian Stelter tying his shoes. You know what's not difficult? Switching banks over to Old Glory Bank. I did it with my money, and you guys should do it too. Support the people who are supporting the parallel economy and consider opening an account today with Old Glory Bank. I'm a big fan of CDs, and you should be too. It's a good way to safeguard your money. The economy's a little volatile. We don't know what's going on with interest rates. Lock those in today. Go to oldglorybank.com. That is definitely not financial advice. So that was the dumbest minute and a half of television I had seen in quite some time. And then the illustrious, the brilliant, the fabulous ladies of The View said, "Hold my beer." And Sunny Hostin got very confused. She decided to point out the misinformation out there. First off, I want to be clear. If you're out there and you're saying the phrase misinformation and you're doing it in an unironic way, you're an absolute dumbass. But, look, you want Sunny, you get Sunny. Here's 2 minutes of room temperature IQ having a conversation about illegal immigration and how Americans feel about it.
So counterproductive to the very cause that you're advocating for. Well, and it feeds into what he wanted to do. What he wants to do is he wants to create a scene. He wants to say, I was justified in sending in the National Guard because look at how violent these protesters are, which they were not until this was exacerbated. But I think he has a strategy here. He is losing support in every area. Inflation, the economy, tariffs, foreign policy. His ratings are dropping
even
like
on immigration,
like rocks. But there's one catch.
Is it like under 30%?
Current support right now, though, is that 66% of the American public actually thinks it is crime enough to be undocumented. And therefore deported.
That it's criminal to be undocumented?
Yes, it is not. You know how the disagreement was in the beginning? We were told it was going to be violent criminals. And I think everyone at this table would agree. Haul out the violent criminals, fine. But a very important distinction was 60% of the American public, 2/3 of independents, 90% of Republicans, and just a little under half of Democrats think the crime is in being undocumented.
Even if it's a civil offense.
Yes.
Yeah,
so what I'm
true.
saying is a massive amount of this country actually agrees with not how he's doing it, but with what he's doing.
So there's misinformation
I think the strategy here is he's leaning into a scene right now, creating a bigger thing, because it is the one thing that he remains supportive.
Let's fix that right now, because it is not illegal to be undocumented. It is not a crime to be undocumented.
It's what they're saying is the problem is that they
no,
are.
but I'm just saying we need to put that information out there.
I don't
it is
think,
a civil infraction.
Yeah, and I don't think
criminal.
it's actually broadly a misunderstanding. I think that 60% of Americans believe it's a civil offense, and that if you come here and you're undocumented, that you should be deported.
But he's actually lost some points on the way he's handling immigration, not the border.
Absolutely.
And I think a lot of I think a lot of Americans voted for him on immigration, thinking he was going to deport gang members and criminals. And he is deporting our friends, our neighbors, mothers, fathers, people working hard to make America actually function. And this is not what I think a lot of people voted for.
This is exactly what I voted for. This is exactly what, as a matter of fact, it's not enough of what I voted for, Anna Navarro. And I love, they're talking, Donald Trump is sinking. He's sinking in the economy and inflation. He's sinking, he's sinking, he's sinking. He's sinking all over the place. Where everything is so bad. Donald Trump is underwater. Wait, what's this? Wait, hold on a minute. What's this CBS News poll right here? What's this? Donald Trump +6 on immigration, +2 on the economy, equal on inflation. No one cares about health care. What? What's that again? Oh, right. Sunny Hostin continues to be incredibly confused by this. Just in the way she's incredibly confused about how her husband made so much money ripping off Medicaid. Allegedly. Don't come after me, Sonny Hostin. I got like $17 you can sue me for. Feel free. Whatever. But really, the question is, how do Americans feel about this? How do Americans feel about Donald Trump and his immigration policy? How do they feel about it? Well, it turns out in Donald Trump's first term, we're a little wishy-washy. Do we really want to do this? Meh. Do we really want to deport our, illegal immigrants? Meh, I don't know. But, as usual, the Democrats went too far and Republicans pounced. What do I mean by that? Well, let's take immigration out of the equation. Let's take immigration out of the equation. Let's use a different example, a more contentious example. Abortion. Y'all ready for this? Better strap in. There was a long time in this country where the legal limit to get an abortion was 20 weeks, halfway through a pregnancy. Now, what's up, Jesse? I am on YouTube. I'll message you in a little bit. What's up, Jess? How are you? Great to meet you last night. Let's use a more contentious issue, abortion. There was a long time in this country where 20 weeks was the limit. And you had people out there like Bill Clinton going, I don't like abortion. But it should be safe, legal, and rare. Safe, legal, rare. And most people, I know a lot of people watching this show don't agree. I know most people watching this show don't agree. But there were a lot of people in the country that went, look, I don't like it. I'm pro-choice. I'm pro-life, as I am. 20 weeks is an abomination, and we shouldn't be ashamed of ourselves for allowing it to happen. But there were a lot of people in this country that went, 20 weeks, okay, what are you going to do? And then the Democrats went, oh, really? Let's keep pushing, and let's keep pushing, and let's keep pushing. Push it real good. Keep going. And then we somehow got to a point now where in the state of New York, the state of California, the state of Oregon, many of the blue states around the country, you can basically have an abortion up to and including dilation. And then Republicans said, no. We're pushing back because you wouldn't stop. You wouldn't take the W. You wouldn't agree to the safe, legal, and rare world. You wouldn't agree to the 20 weeks, which we hated. You guys didn't totally like, but it was a moderate position. You had to keep going. So then we got rid of Roe versus Wade. Well, I think in the context of abortion, of immigration, many people were like, I don't want illegal immigrants here. But, better life, people coming over, I don't really want to bust tables. What are we going to do? Who's cleaning the hotel rooms? If you're the congresswoman from Vermont, you had enough illegal immigrants to wipe your ass. That's an actual quote. But then Joe Biden came in and he let 10, 12, 15, 20, who the hell knows how many million people into the country. And it turns out after that, every American went, no. Now the pendulum must come backwards. Donald Trump, at the start of his first term, was minus 21 on immigration. Today, He is +1, almost a 22-point swing in just 10 years.
You know, if we just take a look at the baseline numbers here, this is Trump's net approval rating on immigration. It's gone up like a rocket. Compare now versus 8 years ago during Trump's first term. Look at this. In his first term, Trump was way underwater at minus 21 points. But look at this. He's up over 20 points. Now, in the aggregate, he is in positive territory at +1 point on his net approval rating. Some other polls even have it a little bit higher than that. There is no issue on which Trump is doing so much better than he was in his first term, more than the issue of immigration. No wonder the Times has written up the way that he is. Trump is begging for a fight on this because he knows what he's doing so far is working with the American electorate.
Where does immigration rank on issues for him? How is he doing compared to others?
Yeah, so I think what's so important is it is his top issue so far. And the reason it is his top issue is because take a look at the individual nuggets in here. Why are people approving of Trump on immigration, approve of these different immigration actions? Well, Trump's administration's program to deport those here illegally. Look at this, 54% approval. How about agents searching your hometown for those that they think are here illegally? Again, positive territory here, above 50% for Donald Trump. So it's not just on the broad issue of immigration where Trump is doing well, it's on the specifics. When you dive into the issues, Trump is above 50% and his actions are above 50%, at least with those most directly connected to what's going on right now out in Los Angeles.
So Donald Trump, the president, picking a fight on this, and to an extent, you see Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass, a Democrat, and the California Governor Gavin Newsom pushing back. So what do voters see in terms of their perceptions of Republicans, the president, or Democrats, say Gavin Newsom, on this issue?
Yeah, the American electorate believe that the Democrats don't have a clue on the issue of immigration. I mean, you could just take it here. Closer to trust more in immigration, Democrats versus Republicans. Got 3 different polls for you across the board. They all tell the same story. Republicans lead on the issue of immigration. You see it here, CBS +6. You see it here, CNN +6. You see it here, Ipsos, even bigger, +19. No matter what poll you look at, no matter which way you cut it, the American public is with the Republicans, the American public is with Donald Trump, and to a much greater extent than they were in term number 1. And it's not just on the broad issue of immigration, it's on the specifics as well, in which the American public is with Donald Trump and the Republicans. And that is why Donald Trump is eager to take on this fight and eager for those scenes out of Los Angeles.
I was just going to use that word eager. This explains some of that eagerness to push forward ever more on this as it escalates. Harriet, and thank you very much.
You see, he's pushing for it. He's pushing for what happened. Donald Trump made that happen. Donald Trump made those people do this. Donald Trump made people flip off cops. Donald Trump made people throw rocks at police trying to put out a fire and throw fireworks at them. He made them set off a mortar in front of a bunch of horses. He made this guy hit a police car with a rock. He made them do that. Or maybe they're all just this guy. Maybe they're all just malignant pieces of crap that have no desire for America to be good, for no desire for America to be working fine. None whatsoever. They're all out to get what they can get. Sorry, guys, you're losing this battle. But Democrats, do yourself a favor and keep spending $10, $20, $30 million to figure out how to connect with regular people. Keep doing that because, quite frankly, it's really, really funny to watch. It's really funny to watch. Guys, 13 minutes to the top of the hour. I want to thank everybody so much for tuning in. Do me a favor and hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place. We got big number today. I'm liking it. I am liking it a lot. Couple of housekeeping tips for the local audience before we dive right in. We got big numbers on all the local stuff. So, what the hell is this weekend? The 14th. This weekend, the 14th, Saturday, Flag Day, Donald Trump's birthday. Also, for New Yorkers, get out. Early voting begins here in the state of New York. Make sure you guys get out. I will be at the Kings Park Street Fair. If you're looking to volunteer, please do reach out to me. Come on down. We certainly could. We can always use the help. Show you guys how local politics really works. Kings Park Street Fair. I'll be there from 10 to 4 all day long. Make sure you guys come on down. I'm sure we'll go out for beverages afterwards. That's the Kings Park Street Fair. Make sure you guys come on down for that. Make sure you guys come on down. Good times all around. Also, for my New Jersey crowd out there, tomorrow is your governor's primary. Thank God that cluster is about to be over, so all my friends in New Jersey can go back to being friends again. So, guys, make sure if you're in the state of New Jersey, you get out, you vote tomorrow, pick somebody, pick Jack, pick Bill, pick Mario. I don't really care. I just want my friends to go back to being friends again. Guys, hit that thumbs up button. Share the video out all over the place before we keep rocking and rolling. Here's Jeremy.
Hey, everyone. I really hope you are enjoying the program today, and I hope you enjoy LFA TV as a whole, because let's face it, we're not getting any younger. However, if there was a way to slow down our aging and live a little bit longer, would we do it? I think we would. You ever heard of Fatty 15, folks? Well, Fatty 15 is a brand new supplement that has C15 in it. You might ask, what's C15? Well, C15 is the first fatty acid to be discovered in 90 years that actually prolongs your life. Over 100 studies over many years were done on dolphins because these two doctors were in charge of basically increasing the dolphin population. So they started introducing this fatty acid called C15, and what they found was something amazing. The dolphins were living longer, and the dolphin pods were growing bigger. It was an amazing discovery. And now, ladies and gentlemen, you can get C15 introduced into your life to slow down the aging process of your cells. And it's not only going to make you feel and you look younger, but it's going to make your body think it is younger, which means you're going to start doing more things again. There's a thing called cellular fragility syndrome. And cellular fragility syndrome happens as we get older. This is going to reverse it, folks. Fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. That is fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA. Get your discount today, folks, and start this new journey to help you live longer. Fatty15.com/LFA, promo code LFA today. Now, back to the program. Thank you very much.
You know, guys, I got to be honest with you. Oh, B.A. Peters, great job today, Kevin. Also, you used your strength. I'm proud of you. Yep, I was able to get my point across without saying a naughty word. So I thank you for that. Thank you so much for the Rumble Rants. Of course, we always appreciate the Rumble Rants. Thank you so much, guys. So, there are a lot of things in the world that I enjoy. I enjoy baseball. I enjoy a good beer with my friends. One other thing that I really enjoy is making people who think they're important feel really small. I really enjoy that because there's nothing like people who are self-righteous, indignatious, and go out of their way to flout their power and overstate their importance. And when I think of people that do that, of course, I think about Maxine Waters, the Democratic congresswoman from California who called the 1992 riots the LA uprising, despite the fact that in 1992, almost all of Los Angeles was destroyed, and many neighborhoods in Los Angeles have still not recovered from those. Well, she decided that she is very important, Maxine Waters, despite the fact that her face no longer moves. So what she decided to do was go down to one of these ICE detention facilities, and she was going to take a tour. She was going to take a tour of the ICE detention facility because she is Maxine Waters, and she hasn't been told no in like 30 years. And then some low-level guy just literally slammed the door directly in her face. And I got to be honest, I don't know what happened on the other side of the door. However, I have to assume that he and his and his buddies, the rest of the people who work for ICE, probably laughed their ass off. Here was Maxine Waters attempting a political stunt, only to get told, lady, I don't know who you are, and I don't really care.
No, I want you to... Hello.
And by the way, before we get to the funny part, congratulations on Maxine Waters for being able to make it up the stairs. At her age, that is a real feat.
Hello, Congresswoman Waters. I just came to use my congressional authority to check on baby.
Ma'am, we're lobbying securely now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public apparel.
I need to get in.
I don't know if you guys can hear it, but I can hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm music playing somewhere in the background as Maxine Waters gets a door slammed directly in her face. Now, look, normally I would say don't slam doors in the faces of old women, but Maxine Waters is an awful human being. So, on some level, it's funny. You know, don't slam doors in old ladies' faces. But if it's Maxine Waters, we'll let it slide. We'll let it slide. Remember when she told her gaggle of midwit followers? You know what? Let's watch that again. Let's watch it again just because it's funny.
No, I want you to... Hello. Congresswoman Waters. I just came to use my congressional authority to check on baby.
Ma'am, we're lobbying securely now to all visitors.
Excuse me, I need to get in.
Contact our public apparel.
I need to get in.
Dun, 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 dun. Ha ha! I wish I had the damn song queued up. That would have just been, it would have been just spot on. It's all right. We'll fix it in post. Watching Maxine Waters get a door slammed on her is almost as funny as finding out that Greta Thunberg got arrested by the Israelis. Believe me, we only got 5 minutes left in the show, so we're not going down that road. However, hearing that Greta Thunberg got arrested by the Israelis for being on a liberation boat doing whatever the hell it is she was doing, it's just really funny. You know what else is really funny? The fact that Donald Trump has elevated his trolling level to, I mean, it's off the charts. They don't make a chart big enough for what Donald Trump just did on the White House lawn. I mean that. I'm not going to reveal why, but I am going to show you a CNN panel that happened about 5 minutes ago. When Donald Trump, God, I love this man. He's just great. When Donald Trump called the LA rioters a group of insurrectionists. I want to be clear. That wasn't by accident. He didn't, flub his words. He said that on purpose so that he could get this reaction from CNN.
What does your intel tell you about these people causing all the problems in LA? Are they people ICE is trying to deport, or are they professional agitators?
The people that are causing the problem are professional agitators. They're insurrectionists. They're bad people. They should be in jail. Thank you.
It's like you queued him up, Priscilla. That word he used, they're insurrectionists. That I can't imagine that was an accident, because it seems as though that is the place that the White House is trying to get. And for the president, it's icing on the cake that he can do it in the state of California, because on a whole host of issues, he has had California, Gavin Newsom in particular, in his sights. The question he was asked was about Newsom daring Tom Homan to come and arrest Newsom. And the president responded, I would do it. And then he said, Gavin wants the publicity.
This is a very serious word that's being thrown around now, insurrection. That's a rebellion of the states or people in the states against the federal government. That is not something to be trifled with. If, for example, to your point, the president were to invoke the Insurrection Act, I think we would have yet another legal morass. It would be another...
Well, firstly, a couple of things. Dana Bash is... I don't think he used that word by accident. I'm going to do my best to withhold my foul language. As a matter of fact, I'm just going to turn my mic down when I say it. No, Sherlock. He said it on purpose. And then I'm sure he walked away and he laughed his ass off. Hey, did you see what I did? I called them insurrectionists. And then there is no topping on the cake. There is no icing on the cake. There is nothing that just epitomizes the news media. Like having a conversation about a riot that took place over immigration and then asking a guy his opinion who isn't from America. I mean, on some level, guys, you gotta at least try here. You have to at least try. But that shouldn't come as a shock to anybody. That shouldn't come as a shock to anybody. Because it turns out most illegal immigrants are actually happy to be here. The big problem is when we run into the legal ones. Like, the people who have lived in this country for so long, they don't know how good they have it. Like Christine Yamanpour, who said that traveling to America sometimes feels like traveling to North Korea.
And I have to tell you, when I went to Harvard to give this speech, and it was just a few days ago, last week, I must say I was afraid. I'm a foreigner. I don't have a green card. I'm not an American citizen. I'm fairly prominent. And I literally prepared to go to America as if I was going to North Korea. I took a burner phone, Jamie. Imagine that. I didn't take a single, not my mobile phone, not my iPad, nothing. And I had nothing on the burner phone except a few numbers, and I could text with my assistant. I had your number. I had our son's number. I had our lawyer's number, the CNN lawyer. And I was really afraid. I'd even talked to the CNN security person because of this. I've heard that many, including British citizens, have been stopped at the border.
All right, a couple of things before we wrap up, because Will Johnson's coming up next. A couple of things. Number one, what the hell is that wallpaper? Okay? 1972 called. They want it back. And number two, Christine Yamanpour, if traveling to America makes you feel like you're in North Korea, then don't come. We don't need you. I'll tell you what I do need. I need you guys to hit the thumbs up button, and I need you to stick around for Will Johnson. Guys, I'll catch you back live tomorrow. Until then, everybody, stay loud.